Is Darius Slay gassed? You think Slay's gassed? Or do you want to play through the season with him? Let me say this to you. Do you think it's the reason why they're not playing press coverage? Why they're playing off the ball? Because they really don't have a depth guy over there to replace him? They may be playing zone defense because they have to. You know? Again, this is something that Sean Desai has to overcome too. Underperforming players. Right? Last year, Jonathan, you see, here's the fundamental flaw with Jonathan Gannon versus Sean Desai this year. Sean Desai is going to be playing against better people with lesser players, including the ones that may have a little time on them now. Okay? He is. He's got more. Jonathan Gannon could never fix the leak in the swimming pool. He had to run to Howie to try to fix it. Give me another player. What Desai did against the Rams in the second half was the first time I went, hey, great. This guy knows what he's doing. Seth and I talked about that last night on his show. Me and him both completely agree. Holy cow, there was some creativity. Then he brought pressure. And you were like, whoa, okay. Little concerned about his safeties? What does he do? He blitzes them internally because he knew Stafford. By the way, that's understanding Stafford. Stafford has always struggled with internal pressure. You know who else has always had a little issue with internal pressure? The GOAT. You never blitz Brady off the perimeter. You always blitz them up the middle. When you got internal pressure on Brady, that's how teams like Baltimore and the Colts with Dungy, that's how they beat him, was with internal pressure, keeping him in the boxes. He ain't going to run. He missed wide open throws, Bart, because they were blitzing him up the middle. Something the Eagles haven't done a lot of. Tells me a lot. So when you see Slay, I think Slay has to play. I think he has to play like that. Because Desai is determined. They're saying this. Darius Slay, this is last year. He'll probably finish the year. Okay? Okay? Personally, again, I think he's done. I thought he was done last year. You guys fought me on it. He's done. All right. Before I move on, and I'll tell you where Jalen Carter is, where people are looking around the national media when it comes to him as Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'll get to that here in a minute. I want to show you guys something about how Jalen Hurts conducts himself and Patrick Mahomes conducts himself, and the reason why Aaron Rodgers never became the winner that I thought he could have become. What is Aaron Rodgers going publicly on the Pat McAfee show saying, hey, I called up Jordan Love just to give him some confidence and told him that things will be okay. Just keep to the grindstone and some other bullshit he said. Does anybody buy that? Does anybody buy a guy who hated the pick, didn't like the guy on the team, barely talked to him? He's on another team now. He should be talking to Zach Wilson. And you're talking about a guy on another team. You know why? So that he can remind Packer fans, you really wanted me out, didn't you? How is it now? That's the difference between winners and losers. They push that shit ahead. They don't care about that stuff. That stuff is rear view mirror. That's the kind of stuff, again, when you guys talk about Hurts' intangibles, that's an intangible. Sour grapes is an intangible. Okay? All right? Crazy. Just you're on the Jets. Why are you involved in that? I mean, you just want to remind Packer fans of what they don't have, and you're sticking it to them. Everyone knows you're doing that. You're just sticking it to them. That's the kind of stuff that Brady and Jalen and Patrick Mahomes and really all the good ones. Like I saw some of you in here. Hey, man, who cares? Right. Why does he care? Why does he care? Again, that's the little things. If you're a coach or an organization, you do this. And now I know why. He won more MVPs than Tom Brady. Tom Brady's got 7 Super Bowls. Who would you rather be? Perfect example of the difference between the two. And get this, Rodgers is more talented. Rodgers is more talented. He's a more talented player than Brady. That's why it matters. You don't always have to be the most gifted player in the NFL. You don't. Intangibles, like you guys always say, hard work, talent. You're in the league, you have talent. Can beat that. Rodgers is a loser. He's a loser. He doesn't believe what he says. He says it just to appease himself. Everything is completely about that guy. What a horrible teammate. Completely, man. Anyway, all right. So far, here are the standings according to some of the people that I have that vote for the NFL Rookie of the Year. And I called around last night to around 20 people. And here's how it looks right now. Ivan Pace, Vikings, inside linebacker, is 6th. This kid, Lucas Van Ness from the Packers, edge rusher, is 5. Brian Branch, Lions, safety, is 4. Will Anderson is 3. Texans, edge. Devin Witherspoon is 2. Seahawks, cornerback. And Jalen Carter's number 1. Eagles, defensive tackle. And the Devin Witherspoon and Jalen Carter debate is a hot one with a lot of voters. Devin Witherspoon. I'm so happy that pre-draft, and I know, Tone, you know this, and I had Bijan too, I would say, that my 3 favorite players in the draft were Devin Witherspoon and Jalen Carter. And I told you Devin Witherspoon, this kid from Illinois, and Jalen Carter. And I love Bijan. So those 3 are my 3 favorite players. And Devin Witherspoon is having a sensational year. He is a player. Okay? He is a great player. The kid Lucas Van Ness, who didn't start it down at Iowa, is having a pretty good year up in Green Bay. I'm pretty shocked with that. Brian Branch, I thought he was a little slow. He's having a really good year at the safety position for the Lions, and he's made a nice impact there. I wanted Gonzalez over Bijan. Never thought we could get Carter. Gonzalez was having a really good year until he got injured and was lost for the season. Cody says Carter is the top rookie so far. I would agree Weatherspoon's not far behind, though, man. Okay? Callie Green asks a question. Sills, do you still think the Cowboys have a better D-line? No, I do not. No, I do not. Actually, Washington has a better D-line than the Cowboys. Washington does. I would say Washington. I would even make this comment. I wouldn't, maybe even New England has a better, you can't get run on like that. And you can't be annihilated like, it's not, hey, get this. I get the 49er loss a little bit, but I don't get the Arizona ass kicking. I don't get the Arizona ass kicking. I just don't get that. They want to hide that one. And they want to try to change. Look at how the media is trying to change that narrative beating on the 49er game. You guys in Philly and other parts like Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Chicago, I totally understand it now. I listen to shows every day, and I hear people coming up with reasons why Dallas got killed. And the only reason you got killed is because you're not better. Your coach sucks, and your quarterback sucks. You're not going anywhere. The Eagles no longer, like I said yesterday, the Eagles no longer have a 2-game lead in the East. You have a 10-year lead. They can't beat you. Watch this. Even if the Dallas Cowboys beat you in one of these games this year, they won't win the war with you. Okay? They haven't won the war almost 30 years with you. They can't. Hey, do I think they'll split with you? Yeah, probably. Before I went, yes. Now I'm going, yeah, probably. Probably. Dallas, they lose to the Chargers this weekend. I think they're fighting for the playoffs. Okay? I think they lose to the Los Angeles Chargers. Dallas Cowboys are going to be fighting whether or not to make it to the playoffs. Then you're going to have to work. Then you're going to have to fire a coach. Do you bring Dion in? And who are you going to go for a quarterback? What are you going to do? You know what, the Dallas Cowboys? We're going to get to some of these trade guys here in a minute. Cowboys need a quarterback. You're not going anywhere. And by the way, you know what you're hearing now? You're hearing people murmuring up Trey Lance. He is not going to save you. Trey Lance is a worse version of Marcus Mariota. I'd rather have Mariota. Get this. Mariota is better than Trey Lance. Okay? Trey Lance has no future. He has no future. He is a bust. A bust. The Dallas Cowboys would love to have Marcus Mariota. Now, the question would be, you're going to run through the tape here with this, and the Cowboys are – get this. The Dallas Cowboys, because of the Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles have to implode the entire organization. As a bet, Eagles home field advantage, what week? Let's get into the meat of the schedule here, and let's see how they play. Sills, do you think they bench Dak this year or rough it out? Man, that's a really great question. Brian, that's a really great question. Look at the quarterback situation in the NFC East. Giants may need a new quarterback. The Cowboys need a new quarterback. Washington is trying to figure out if Sam Howell survives a year and he doesn't get killed getting sacked so many times, and then he got hurt. Right now, what has happened, the Eagles are completely pushing away from every single team in the NFC East. And it is getting to be a wide. Would we agree it's a wider gap this year than it was a year ago between all the teams in the East? It's a wider gap now. I mean, people thought the Giants were kind of on their way. I never believed it. I told you that. I thought they were frauds. The Cowboys won 12 games 2 years in a row. You were like, okay, they're winning games. Now this year, you know who the only other team outside of Philadelphia is getting? Get this. Philly's the only team getting better in the East. Philly's the only team getting better, and they're 5-0. Get this. You're basically, wouldn't we call it this? You're not rebuilding. You're retooling on the fly. How many teams can retool on the fly? Not many in that league. You can do that in college with 1 billion kids on your roster. You can't do that. The Eagles are rebuilding. Okay? They're rebuilding on the fly. Replacing a Pro Bowl running back, Pro Bowl right guard, Pro Bowl interception leader, and CJ, linebackers who were productive last year, a defensive tackle position that was suspect against the run has improved to be the best in the league. What do the Eagles need to do to be better than the 49ers? Continuity. It's going to be interesting to see what happens Thursday when Nakobe Dean is taken off the when he's taken off the IR, how they play him and how they look at him and what kind of conversation they have with him and what his. Yep. Hey, 11 goes. New England is rebuilding, and they're 1-4. The play calling, look, just keep doing what you're doing. I want to see them duplicate the Rams game mentally each and every single week now. Hurts getting out and running more. Don't tell him to slide. He'll take care. You don't need to tell Jalen Hurts to slide. He knows to get down. Again, hey, would this be a fair comment? I think you don't overcoach him. He doesn't need it. You don't need to overcoach Jalen Hurts. Okay? You don't need to overcoach him. You got this. Don't overcoach him. Eagles need a new wide receiver, LB, and safeties. Cowboys are going to crush. The Cowboys are a finesse team. They don't crush anybody except the shitty New York teams. I'll tell you what, man. I bought on the fool's gold too. I don't get this. It's like being a abused son. I feel like I'm an abused son. You keep going. It looks like the year. It looks like the year. It looks like, and then you're like, you're just, you put yourself through torture with that stuff. You're just like, man, I mean, it's 30 years of horseshit. Dude, I will never in a million years, ever in a million years, take the Cowboys in a big game ever again. I don't trust you. I have no faith in you. You're like a cheating woman. I will never have faith in you as long as I live. Ever. I will always hold it against you. I will always know that you did this. You always broke my heart. I am never doing this again. You cannot trust them. It's like a chick who looks you in the face and keeps continually going behind your back. And this time, guess what? She's making out with your boy. Okay? The Dallas Cowboys will not win a Super Bowl until Jerry Jones is no longer running the team. I think Steven could get it done because Steven's going to bring in more people. Steven's not going to be the general manager of the team. He's going to bring in a qualified general manager because his dad has always been, again, the Jimmy Johnson thing. And I know some of you get tired of it. Tone, here, all of you, I know you get tired of it. But after they won those Super Bowls and Jerry fired Jimmy in Orlando at the owners' meetings when he said anybody could coach his team. Do you remember those comments? Jimmy stood up and Aunt Betty, excuse me, you know what he said? Fine. You find another fucking coach to win you a Super Bowl. Barry Switzer still to this day credits that's Jimmy's Super Bowl ring. I just happen to have been here. Okay? Jerry Jones as a GM is a definition of insanity. Dirty D. Right. He's the longest running failure general manager in pro football history. I mean, seriously, even George Halas won. George Halas won. He is such an egomaniac. He wants to win a title. The same way Brady wanted to win a title without Belichick. And you know what's got to be eating Belichick? Belichick can't even win a playoff game without Brady. Shit, Belichick can't even get back to the playoffs without Brady. The more he stays, and I'm talking Bill, the more he stays, the more people are going to start looking at him like this. You really made a really great decision with Tom Brady. And it was a really great decision. And it was a career-changing decision. And everyone gives you the kudos for that. And everyone gives you the kudos for the first part of the dynasty. Because you won with field goals and Vinatieri and Brady being accurate on third down. But after the first three, those last three, I mean, if it wasn't for TB12, I don't know, dude. Okay. Crazy. Absolutely. I mean, Jerry Jones sticking around like this. And get this. Here's the thing you do. Here's the thing you do here too. You do this, you go, so today, Jones was saying this. Hey, we had a bad night. You had Jason Kelsey's bitching on the sidelines about red zone offense, and they're undefeated. And Jerry Jones is trying to justify a 32-point ass beating, let alone the fact you got destroyed by Arizona. I quit. I'm done. Hey, guess what, sweetie? Hey, honey Dallas, pick your shit up and get out of here. By the way, I'll mail you the rest of your stuff. Okay? I'm done with you, man. By the way, too, everything you bought me, I'm burning. Okay? I don't want anything to do with this, man, because I don't trust you. I don't even want to be reminded of you. Okay? As a matter of fact, I'm going to take my helmet and put it in the garage in a box somewhere deep because I can't do it, man.